Okay, so today we're going to be covering 8 Sleep and their overall email marketing strategy. If you don't know who 8 Sleep is, they are a estimated $300 million per year company that specializes in sleep technology. Essentially, it's a pod that connects to the overall cover on your bed, and that cover can help regulate your sleep and your sleep temperature, right? So you can sleep cool, you can sleep hot, however it is. They're endorsed by dozens of athletes, dozens of influencers, Andrew Huberman, all these doctors. They're validated. Tons of people use their products. And so now what we're going to be covering is how they got to scale their company out over the last 5 years with their email marketing strategy. So in front of me, what we have here is a full breakdown of their 2025 email marketing campaigns. This is every single campaign that they've sent out this year as of July 18th. We'll go through all these campaigns, give a little bit of a breakdown as to what's their overall strategy when it comes to their emails, breaking down their overall design based on the 5 main sections that they're using, and then also looking at their overall campaign strategy when it comes to top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom funnel traffic and audience segmentation. If you don't know who I am, I'm Matthew Gale. I'm the founder of the Kaizen Blitz. We're a full service retention and lifecycle marketing partner that helps e-commerce brands convert more customers, increase MRR, and drive higher lifetime values. We've generated over $25 million for 80 plus brands such as Raz.com, Dr. Kellyanne, Meter Red Light, Under Luna, Hank Spells, and many more. Here are my social media profiles right below here. But otherwise, let's just hop right into it. So, number one, when we look at the overall breakdown of 8 Sleep's emails, they have sent out over 168 emails so far this year. So that's roughly 24 to 28 per month or 45 emails per week. Obviously, they have a peak activity around sales events and product launches, but for the most part, they are sending 4 to 5 campaigns per week on average. When we look at the when we look at the overall campaign types and what they're really sending out, it's generally a mix between educational and lifestyle content, product promotion that is non-salesy, so they're not having a promotion like Valentine's Day or President's Day or summer sale. It's just promoting the pod. And then they're also doing lots of sales and promotional events. They have some partnership and collaboration content, and then also social proof and testimonials. When it comes to the promotional versus non-promotional split between these campaigns, you generally get to see like a 50-50 split. It's pretty half and half between non-promotional sleep education content, talking about athletic partnerships, lifestyle wellness content, product education, and then also more promotional towards offering direct discount offers, sales events, last time or last chance urgency campaigns, all that sort of stuff. So that's something you'll get to see as we go through these emails. What you'll see for the most part too is that in every single email they are promoting the pod in some sort of way or fashion. Even if it's more educational content, they are still promoting their product to help people get better sleep. Now, when we get into the product focused strategy, they're not only promoting the pod, they also are cross selling sleep. Sleep Elixir is one of their supplements that they have here. It's like essentially a sleep supplement without any melatonin in it. And so they are promoting that as well alongside the pod. So it's about like 85-15% split, like 90-10. It's not a huge product for them, but it's definitely great for cross selling. Then we get into the design template distribution. For the most part, they are using both branded and design templates as well as plain text and minimal design emails. So it's generally like 60-40% split. For the most of the emails, you'll see promotional banner, a logo header, hero section that contains an image, headline, and CTA, and then 2 to 3 content blocks, whether it's like education, testimonials, features, final CTA section, and then a footer that's very, very minimal. We'll get into all that later. And then when it comes to the plain text emails, generally, these are emails that are coming from the CEO or the founder, customer service reps, or just from the basic team. And these are split between just personal conversational tones and selling around the pod, and then also urgent sales notifications and so forth. What you'll see here also, like when we just breezing through this, you'll see that a good amount of these are plain text emails, and that's part of their overall strategy, especially when it comes to sales events like they had in May and even like in February, and I think they had one in April. So Yeah, you can see here like there's it's not all just design well designed emails. There's also plenty of plain text that they utilize to drive sales and get people's attention. And obviously, like one thing to note here, if something is working, like if you see a brand doing something over and over and over again, they're repeating it, that probably means that it's working. And so that's something to really take into here, especially if this is a $300 million per year brand, right? So let's just keep that in mind. Also, so anyways, moving forward to the primary CTAs, generally their CTAs are split between action oriented, so shop the pod, get up to 250 euro off, try the pod, or just kind of exploring and educational based. So learn more, read reviews, read this, see the science. They're just it obviously depends on the type of campaign that they're sending out, but that's something to also really keep in mind there. Then we get into image and photography strategy. We're going to also get into this in later on, but they use tons of different lifestyle photography and product photography throughout these emails. So they'll have people showing people inside their bed, showing people doing their morning routines. People are trying to recover from workouts, or they're doing a workout, right? They're cycling, they're running. You'll see people like a woman running up a flight of stairs. There's obviously like they know their core demographic. They know their core customer profile, who is you know um, an affluent, high income person who is more interested in tennis, in F1, in cycling, all these different areas of fitness. Right? They're probably more into business, or they're a high um, ranking person in a company, and so they are targeting those people. Next is like product focused email. So what you'll see here is that they have clean product shots against neutral backgrounds. They'll show shots of their interface, like in their app, their online mobile app. They'll show technical diagrams and charts, just to try to showcase the product and how it works. And then also on top of that, they'll show some partnerships with like athletes. So they'll show like behind the scenes lifestyle content, professional sports photography, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, that's essentially it. Now, getting into the email design breakdown, there are essentially five main sections that they use throughout their emails. Six, if you want to include their footer, which is fairly straightforward. It's just the logo, social icons, and then just some fine print, and then unsubscribe. Um, it's really straight to the point. It's not really well optimized, but for their brand, it makes sense because they only have one SKU. Essentially, they don't need to cross sell the sleep elixir in every single email, and then um, every necessary link that they want you to click on is going to be within the email, right? It's just going to be towards the pod, or you could learn more at like a science page, and that's essentially it. You don't need to click on anything else below here unless you want to go on their social media or you want to unsubscribe and leave. So it's very I think it's more tactile and more focused and more deliberate than we might think. But yeah, so getting into the hero section here, one thing you'll notice here is that there's tons of different colors and varieties that they're using, and even just the imagery as well. There's so much going on here that every email looks different. It looks new. It looks original. But they also follow a very similar format. So for the most part, they have the logo, they'll have a headline, they'll have some body copy or like a sub headline, and then they'll have a CTA to whatever they're pushing towards. Try the pod, shop the pod, learn more, shop now, power up, shop now, all that sort of stuff. But you obviously with this color palette, it's very very deliberate. It's everything looks different and new and exciting, and that comes a lot of that comes from their content strategy, which is very very good. Um, so you see here, like we said before, they'll show shots of the pod. They'll show people who are meditating. This lady's meditating. She's not sleeping. It's a lifestyle image of her trying to, she just, it looks like she just woke up. She just got out of slumber. She's meditating on her bed. This other lady here, they show lifestyle images of people who are having trouble with certain aspects of sleep, right? So this lady isn't laying in bed. She didn't get enough sleep, and it matches the aspect and the idea of the email, right? Full night of sleep and still tired. Quantity does not mean quality. Learn more, and it's probably to a blog post or to learn more about sleep at their science page. Um, so yeah, and then they'll show people that are sleeping. So this lady's wide awake. She didn't get good sleep. these people are at rest. It's dark. It's kind of has a blue tint and hue to it. They show the product of the pod. It's very just prominent in its place. They also show a lot for people, like I said before, like lifestyle images of people who are doing things. So if you're a cycler, like you want to have it shows people cycling, shows people running up a flight of stairs, cycling, shows people serving in tennis. There's all these different. Another lady meditating in bed, right? They're very very deliberate in how they do this. And then also one thing to note here is that every single image, every single lifestyle image showcases the pod. This lady has the pod right here next to her bed. This lady right here has the pod right next to her bed. This bed has a pod right next to it. These people, you can't really see it, but here's the pod. Um, and then, where is this? This is a pod right next to a bed, next to a nightstand. There's all these, even these people are sleeping. There's a pod. It's very, very deliberate in how they market and how they sell the product because no matter what, if it's a lifestyle, if it's just showcasing the product or a mattress or a bed, or if it's prominent, you see the pod in every single email, essentially, unless it is one of these where they're more focused around a partnership with an athlete or they're focused around a certain idea. So, like this person here that's cycling. Um, so yeah, that's essentially it. So these all these emails are really well optimized. Sometimes they'll include a banner as well if they have a sale going on. So sleep reset sale, summer fitness early access is here, unlocked up to $200 off, President's Day sale. So again, very deliberate with what they use, and they always try to mix and match what they're using. So that's essentially it here. And then in terms of like copy, their headlines are either problem solution or question based in like it's like in like 5 to 7 words. So it's meet your perfect sleep climate. Optimal temperature equals optimal sleep. Full night of sleep and still feeling tired. Does your bedroom still need an upgrade? These are very very like straight to the point. It's very like Apple esque in the way how they promote the product, but it works for them. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, you can see that it's all different. It's all new, and also their hero section. One last thing is very very optimized for conversions because you see everything you need to see within the top, like above the fold of the email. You don't need to scroll through to see the logo, the headline, the text, and then also the CTA. These are all optimized for above the fold emails, whether you're on mobile or desktop. So you see the email, you see it's from 8 Sleep, you understand what they're talking about, and then you click shop now. Like it's all optimized for above the fold, and that's one thing I love about these emails. It's a masterclass in how to make really good above the fold sections, hero sections that people want to click on, like and they're incentivized to do so. So that's one thing to keep in mind when it comes to these emails or these hero sections. Next, we're going to go over the product benefits and education sections. So obviously with such a technical product, they'll have lots of education around their products and how they work. So why you love the pod, immersive temperature personalized to you, 3 steps for a bedroom refresh. So this is just more of an educational content style email. This is more around the pod. This is around their sleep elixir, and then they also have other aspects like like a Q&A style education content. They use like charts and graphs. They use like different styles of like formatting the content. So like it's in a 2x2 grid here. Here it's in a like 2x8 essentially grid here, and so you can easily see and understand like what they're really talking about. So a few things to know around this section is number one, they showcase technical details in a very simple format. So they structure their product education sections in a clear information hierarchy. So, for here you see step one, step two, step three, step one, step two, step three. It's very straight to the point. And it's all very relatable. It shows some of the more advanced features, shows the technology, but it's also very relatable on when it comes to the copy. It's very deliberate. Next is rather than showing like here you don't see tons of copy, you don't see paragraphs, you don't see tons of like bullet points or anything. Most of the education comes in by like most of the education comes by showing the pod in action. So they're showing temperature control displays, app interface screenshots, dual zone visualization, before and after visual charts. So you can see here they use um, like, and it matches their brand really really well. It showcases like this could have just been a simple image of on the bed, but by showing these like overlays of the temperatures, you understand what they're talking about. Same thing here, like, oh, it just shows the bed, but by showcasing the elevation, it makes it more technical and looks more advanced to the product. It highlights the fact that you can elevate the product based on, if you get this bed that can elevate, right? Same thing here with the soundscapes. It could just be an image of a bed, but they show like these waves, these sound waves, and then an app screenshot for like the sound. So it's very, very technical and very, very good. They also use like statistics. For like the sleep supplement, they'll use some of these like they showcase the products or like the ingredients inside. It's very, very well thought out and well done. And so yeah, that's essentially it. That's pretty much the product benefit section. Less copy and just more visual content and clarity around how people can truly sleep well. So yeah, that's essentially it. Third section is the product highlight section. So rather than trying to educate people around the product, it just kind of shows the product in action. Um, and it's a lot more just centered around the product. So here you can see like these are still around the product, but they're still educating people about like, oh, you could cool to 13 degrees Celsius, warm to 43 degrees Celsius. But here, what they do is they'll just kind of highlight the product in certain ways. So um, one here is like they'll obviously show like the visual cooling method of like hot versus cold, but then they'll also just highlight like this is just the product, this is the cover, this is the blanket. This is just a CTA towards the product, right? President's Day sale ends Friday. Shop the pod risk free. This is pod 5, the only way to sleep, and then it just breaks down every single section: the blanket, cover, mattress, base, the hub. It gives you everything you need to know. And then it kind of this is like more of a breakdown. Here's the cover, the blanket, autopilot, the base. For their sleep supplement, it shows they break down the products and the ingredients in this sort of manner. And so it's a little bit more similar to the overall like education style, like the benefits, but it's also educating like it's just highlighting the product in general and seeing like this is a more targeted CTA towards the product and wanting to shop for it and going to the product page. So that's one way to think about it. They also use a lot of risk reversals. So 30-night risk-free guarantee, 5-year warranty, free shipping and returns, HSA, FSA payments. This is all like really important stuff that they include because they know this will help people push people towards their purchase. Next is value proposition highlights and sections. Um, this is really just highlighting different sections. So like this is also not only risk reversal, but also includes just like icons. It's very simple, easy to the point, understandable to like, oh, try the pod risk free, sleep now, pay later, save energy by sleeping cooler. So they're not only just utilizing um, simple like charts and graphs, or they're like, just the risk free stuff, but they're also using like unexpected like secondary benefits. So save energy by sleeping cooler, sleep now, pay later, change starts with the pod. And then the icons that they use, like more daytime energy, faster sleep onset, enhanced sleep quality. They all use very deliberate like ways to try to like drive people to like understand like what the pod is about, but also it's very easy to understand like what they're talking about. Sleep stages, time slept, heart rate, HRV, like it's all there and like it's easy to digest. And then lastly is testimonial section. So they highlight testimonials. Testimonials is a big one that they use. You'll see that they have different variations here with just a single testimonial, one overlaid on a image. They use like 3 in a row here. They also use ones from like experts. So like expert approved from like Dr. Andrew Huberman or from Taylor Fritz, the tennis player. They also have some for like videos. They'll showcase like video content if it's like an influencer, an author, or a YouTuber. They'll throw someone on. They'll showcase these um, uh, testimonials as well. And then they also use like these for like uh, I think for like International Women's Day or like Mother's Day, they showcase like women. So it's like, oh, here's a professional cyclist. Here's her review. Here's a UFC commentator. Here's her review. So these are real women. These are real testimonials that they're using to really highlight, uh, highlight the legitimacy of their product, right? And they use a variety of testimonials. So they'll you go from like verified customer to a professional title or an athlete to an expert, right? Um, so yeah, they'll use a variety of different testimonials. And one cool thing here is that even for the basic ones, they'll include this badge of like verified buyer just to verify like, oh, this is someone that actually uses their product. And there's no way to say like, oh, every one on your website is not like legitimate. Most of them, almost all of them are going to be legitimate, right? But just including this badge is just a step above just if this was a regular testimonial, right? And so that's something to keep in mind with how they try to highlight this and try to drive legitimacy towards the product, right? It's a lot, it just adds credibility. And then also with these testimonials, you see that a lot of them match a sleep challenge, or they'll speak to the customer that what they're talking about. So my 3:30 a.m. night sweats are gone. My wife and I would be very upset if someone took hours, 46% more sleep. The pod has taken my recovery to the next level. So whether it's an athlete or whether it's a couple or whether it's someone that looks at their quantified results, they track their sleep, or they deal with a sleep challenge like sleep sweats, they are very deliberate with the testimonials that they include so that people are like really incentivized to like it's like impressive, right? It's like rather than just throwing up a regular testimonial, it's like, oh, this is very deliberate, this is very, very good. Even here, the greatest invention since air conditioning maybe even better. Like that's an amazing testimonial that they looked for, they found, they're like, we're using that, right? And so that's something to keep in mind as well. So those are all the sections that break down the email marketing design. We're not going to go through all these emails today. If you want access to this document, just click the link in the below in the description, and then you could get access to it. But yeah, otherwise, we'll go over the campaign strategy really quick, and then we'll wrap this up. So going over the top of funnel education. So they pretty much looking at their overall funnel and how they break down their marketing strategy. It's really broken down into three ways. So they have top of funnel, which is mainly educational and PR stuff. So this is mainly around, they were featured in the New York Times, so they made email around that. They have a collaboration with Strava, so they're promoting that. They also have they'll try to sell their product, but in a way where it's like they're educating people around it. So um, your national defense systems, stronger sleeps means stronger immunity. Shop the pod, and then they'll have a little education around rest, restore, recharge. Less than 6 hours of sleep means that you're pretty much they're educating people that like saying like you need to sleep well to have a really good immune system, and then they have a section to like read more about it, right? Um, then they'll have some stuff around more of the collaborations, World Sleep Day. They'll have some education around getting better sleep. So they have tons of these different things where they're not badgering about the product. They're not talking about the product. They're focused on a certain problem or solution that their customer is wants or is dealing with, and they're including the product in it. So these are like more top of funnel. Like I said, peak performance starts in the gyms. And it's crossed out and says embed, and then it's just learn more about how can you get peak performance from your sleep, right? So that's one way that they do that. That's one way that they do that for like top of funnel awareness. They focus on a problem, they look at a solution, and then they try to bridge the gap for their customer and include the product in that. Then they have more middle funnel content. So this is more around product education and product highlights. So this is where they are deliberately just promoting the product, but not in a way where it's like super salesy and like promotional. So personalize your sleep. The pod is made for you and only you. Testimonial section, and then it's just reset your nights, recharge your days. So they have tons of like deliberate sections here where they're trying to promote the pod. They have this like review from Forbes. It's literally just a review. Shop the pod, promoting the fact that their product is FSA eligible. Some more sections about promoting the pod. this is like the same. Notice that here, this is the same image, but the way they format it for email is a lot more different. So that's something to keep in mind. Um, and so yeah, this is where they're promoting the product or they're educating people around the product, but it's not centered around like, learn more or something. It's just, shop the pod essentially. And then lastly is bottom of funnel sales and promotions. So this is where they're specifically like trying to sell the pod in a way where they're having a discount, they're having an offer. You can see here $150 off the pod, 150 off the pod, $200 off the pod, HSA, FSA, and then you can see here that they are using multiple different sections. So like you have 6 days left to spend your FSA funds. You have 3 days left to spend your FSA funds. This is it. Your FSA funds disappear in under 24 hours. They are deliberately hammering and badgering about this so that people are taught like, they should be focused on selling it and buying the pod and seeing what they can do there, right? Um, these are still more like these could be like more middle funnel, but a lot of them are still promotionally. Um, they're still like promotionally like using like a sale to drive sales. Um, this is like more of like they have like an experience that they did like a sweepstakes that they did for the pod, and then they also have uh, some more around like sales. So like ends tonight, you almost missed out. Sale ends tomorrow. Sale ends at midnight. Sale extended. They're very like uh, they're still like more promotionally driving sales using like these events. So yeah, that is essentially it. That is all of 8Sleep's entire email marketing design breakdown, or strategy breakdown. So if you have any questions, just let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, you could get access to this document in the description below. And then otherwise, if you need help with your email marketing strategy, be sure to reach out to us. We are a full service retention and lifecycle marketing partner for ecom brands. We do this all the time. We've worked with 80 plus brands and done lots of work for them, lots of similar results. And so yeah, if you need help with your overall email marketing strategy or design or layout, or you want us to break down your brand's strategy like so, then feel free to leave us a comment or reach out to us. Also, link in the description, and we'll talk to you later.